Right now, we are preparing you for yet another dangerously hot day across the valley as this extreme heat warning unfortunately continues. This morning, we have team coverage getting you ready for this extreme heat. Right now, our Tori King is standing by at St. Vincent de Paul, where overnight heat relief shelters are giving people a safe place to escape the intense temperatures. But first, we want to get right to meteorologist Crystal Long with your weather impact alert forecast. I was hoping that this warning would expire, but it sounds like it might just extend into next week.
Oh, yes. It's Friday plus. I guarantee it. Right now, it's slated through Friday, but Saturday looks worse. Sunday just as bad. Early next week. In fact, all of next week. Don't be surprised if this one gets stretched out really long again. I mean, remember our last one? It was an 18-day stretch. I'm not saying we're taking it there, but my goodness, we're going to be adding up the days under this extreme heat warning, and our ACs are just going to keep humming around the clock because we're starting out above average. We're starting out with 90s in the valley, and when that's the scratch for the day to start from, you can only imagine what we're aiming for in the afternoon. And we're going to be aiming above average all across Arizona, not just in that warned zone. 110 for Phoenix, but 114 in Havasu and Bullhead City today. We're nearing 100 in Sedona. Looks like we're going to pull it off in Kingman and crank it up to 103 in Page. Double nines in Winslow, so it'll be close. We'll be on the cusp of 100, and it's going to stay steamy out there with that monsoon moisture on deck. That's going to make for some storms in the mountains this afternoon, and there's even a shot that a stray storm or maybe a dust storm shows up on valley doorsteps late this evening.
Oh, my ears perked up. Thanks, Crystal. Well, right now, the valley's extreme heat is taking a deadly toll. Maricopa County has now confirmed 81 heat-related deaths so far this year. That's more than double the 35 confirmed at this time last year. And that number could still rise. Another 587 deaths are under investigation as potentially heat-related, which again is up about 376 from this time last year. As dangerous heat continues across the valley, the need for heat relief is growing. At St. Vincent de Paul, staff are working around the clock, providing a safe place to sleep overnight and serving meals during the day. 12 News journalist Tori King takes us inside to show how the nonprofit is meeting that need.
Well, this room looked very different this morning. It's been completely transformed into an enormous dining hall, but at around 5 a.m., there were over 170 cots here, each of them filled with people overnight looking to escape the heat. We've got Jennifer Morgan here. She's joining us this morning. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you for talking with us. Tell me about the enormous effort that goes into an undertaking like this, going from 170 cots to now having meal service. What does it take?
Thanks so much for joining us. So every morning, as soon as we wake our shelter residents, we flip this dining room so that we're prepared to serve meals. As you can see, people from the community come in to escape the heat and have a seated meal with a little bit of dignity. Now this morning, or today, we have had some issues with volunteers and not having enough signed up. There are 30 spaces available for each volunteer opportunity, like meal service or our heat relief programs at this location. And we had 5 sign up for the morning session. For lunch today, we have, I think, 15 out of 30 that are signed up. So we're really just trying to fill that need and do whatever we can to make sure that the people get their bellies filled.
Well, and this is something that happens every day, and it's extremely important now. Are you seeing a rise in an amount of people coming in every day?
So it fluctuates, but definitely during the summer months when it is a refuge from such high temperatures and extreme heat, we do see a lot of people. We feed between 700 and 1,000 people for each meal. Not each day, that's each meal that we serve.
Wow. And speaking of the number of meals that you serve, come in here, take a look at this. We have a board over here that really shows you the impact that they're making here, the number of meals that they're serving. Can you tell me about these numbers here?
Right, so this represents each meal that we serve every day. So you can see Sunday through Saturday, the top number is breakfast, the bottom number is lunch, and then on Fridays we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And each number there represents an individual belly that we were able to fill through donations from our community, through contributions from volunteers. We have 6 paid staff in this facility, and everything else is done through volunteers who show up.
Well, And you talked about the volunteers. There is such a need for them. And we can see some volunteers here serving right now. If you ever have thought about volunteering, or maybe you're nervous to or intimidated, you shouldn't be, because this is the kind of work that you're going to be doing. Anybody can do this. How big is the need for volunteers and helpers?
That's right. The need is immense. Everybody thinks the holiday season is the season for giving, and that's when it is put on your heart. But in Arizona, when temperatures are extreme and the heat is unbearable, we still have this need. It might even be a greater need because there are less people who are ready to volunteer. As you can see here, we have a team of staff members, we have community members that have signed up, and then we even have people experiencing homelessness who are in here helping out just so that we can get this meal served.
Well, thank you so much for being here. If you have an interest in serving, if you feel like you want to donate or help out in any way, or if you know somebody who's in need of these services, we're going to have links to all of these resources on our website. Just go to 12news.com. But a very, very big need right now for this as the temperatures continue to climb. That's the very latest here in Phoenix. I'm Tori King with 12 News.